An astrologer is always a mythologist. I said I would make a video for the asteroids and how I figure them out. So Mark Pottinger sells discs, and the asteroids are well over 22,000. This is actually just a short list that I use called ASNUM 463. It's in zodiacal order, which means that it will be Aquarius, and then Pisces, and then Aries, and so forth. So what I'm looking at right now is Aquarius, and this client, who is not Mark Pottinger, I just let his name be in there. So this client has a 28 degree ascendant. At 28 degrees Aquarius, you can see Cassandra, Vinifera, Ariadne, and Maria. But there's also Paula and Jansky, and anything within a 2 degree orb. So Jansky's at 26, Paula's at 27, Cassandra's at 28, right on the ascendant. So that's how I do it. And unless you tell me very specific names, I won't know what to look for. So you can run these at astro.com yourself. There are 22,000, so I won't know, but you can see right here is Herrick, and that's a last name. Althea could be a first name. Arthur could be a first name, or it could be the archetype for King Arthur. So when you're running the asteroids, they have to be within a 2 degree orb, preferably a 1 degree orb of the ascendant, the descendant, the midheaven, or the IC. They should be conjunct, for instance, the moon or the sun, or for instance, Mercury or Chiron. And then to interpret that, you have to understand that Chiron in this client's chart is in Gemini, right at Rigel, between Cursa and Rigel. So there's a deep wound of the Cursa Rigel malevolent Orion stars in this person's 5th house, which is like her creativity and sexuality. And then you'd have to add to that the asteroid Industria, which she has there. And I won't give you that interpretation right now, but it's fairly complex. Astrologers are always mythologists, because I would have to be able to know the fixed star. I would have to know what Chiron means. Like Chiron is the wound of the hybrid race that was raped by the interdimensionals and then abandoned by their mothers. So it's a very profound chart reading to have your asteroids done. And then the next piece is, if you're living on your Chiron line, you're pulling up that really deep wound of being an outcast, a hybrid, something that was product of a rape, who was abandoned by the mother, relating all the way back to Rigel and Cursa, were the malevolent beings of our galaxy live. And then, for instance, if you have an asteroid conjunct Saturn, Saturn restricts, it makes things difficult. So whatever asteroid is conjunct Saturn, there will be, difficulties with that asteroid. It'll be much harder to bring those conditions about and require great perseverance. So you must know your planets, and then you must know your mythology of the asteroids. You must know your fixed stars. And so far, I really only have one client who has committed to doing a 10-year process with me of really studying every bit of the chart, and being able to read it as well as I do takes about 10 years. It will require probably 2 years of intense work where you study every single week. You have like a date, like a Tuesday, at 8 a.m. or whatever. That's what I did with Demetra. And yeah, it cost me $10,000 to study at that level with Demetra, where I was reading charts and able to interpret the levels of mythology, astrology, fixed stars, and galactic knowledge that I have of what Rigel and Cursa are. So that is an introduction, and my hope is that you actually take my course at galacticshamanastrologers.net with 30 videos and get like the basics down. The basics will at least let you know what Mars is, okay? The basics are really important, and then we can start to talk and work together. And yeah, it will take years before you are an astrologer at my level. So if you just look at how I've written things on the chart, okay, this is how you would receive a chart. And somebody asked me about some of like this nessus on the descendant. Yes, I mean, the Galactic Shaman Astrologers have talked about murder, asteroids for murderers. We did the chart of Jeffrey Dahmer. So yeah, it's already in the chart. Abuse, violence, abduction, it's already in the chart, which again is how I know that we are in some kind of a machine, that this beautiful realm, as you can see, here's the Isle of Skye where Claude and I have traveled. But we're inside, it's holography, okay? It's a virtual reality inside of a machine. Who owns this reality? Yaldabaoth, okay? The severed one, Yaldabaoth. So you're inside of a simulation and everything's pre-programmed. The most important thing that you can do is, again, if you don't want to bring about this chiroptic wound, don't live on that line. Okay, and that's how I can help you with the astro map. Okay, I hope that that gives more information on the asteroids.